I'll call the Economic Development Authority of Lancaster County meeting for the first quarter of 2026 to order. And we'll take the roll call. Taryn Bryce. Billy Barrick.
Here.
Rory Carter.
Here.
Samuel Rice.
Here.
Bruce Sanders. Tom Richardson, present. So we do have a quorum. Thank you guys for coming. Approval of the October 16 minutes. Those were emailed out and are in front of you. If those present would had time to review those and make a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Minutes are approved from last meeting. Election of 2026 EDA officers per bylaws. John, what do we?
You'll need to elect a chairman and vice chairman.
Any discussion on that?
I'd like to elect Tom as their chairman for the next year.
And Vice Chairman Roy.
Pardon?
And Vice Chairman.
Well, vice chairman right now is Taryn Bryce.
Chair, okay, that's fine.
But
Taryn,
if you want to,
That's fine. That's fine. We said that's fine.
okay, there's a motion to keep the chairman and vice chairman the same from 2025 to 2026. Taryn Bryce rolling as vice chair and Tom Richardson as chair. Is there a second? Oh, there was a first and second.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So, moving on to readoption of the bylaws for 2026. Those were sent out also. I don't have any changes. I looked at them last night. I don't know if anybody else has any thoughts on the bylaws. John, any?
Yes, sir.
sorry.
I'm sorry.
John, any updates on the bylaws that to speak of that would need to be?
Mr. Chairman, there were no updates to the bylaws. We just readopted the existing bylaws from 2025.
I make a motion to approve the readoption of our EDA bylaws.
Is there a second?
Second.
I have a first and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. And now we get to the meat of the meeting is grant requests. Risha Yoga and Wellness grant request. Emily Dawson, how are you this morning?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good morning. Thank you for being patient while we got
course.
going.
And I will keep it brief this morning. Good morning. On behalf of myself and my husband and Rishi Yoga and Wellness, I want to thank you for taking the time to review our application and allow us to speak to you today. We are returning to the EDA today to seek help building new infrastructure for our local wellness business. After 3 years in our space in July, we feel we have hit a plateau in the community. Our current customer base is sustaining us and helping us to grow slowly via word of mouth. However, it has become evident that we are lacking visibility. We are very tucked away off of Route 3 with no signage, and it is difficult to catch both locals and visitors as they pass through Whitestone. We are neighbored by multiple other local businesses that will surely also benefit from increased traffic down Chesapeake Drive. We've been quoted $5,000 to put up 3 signs by local business East Coast Custom Graphics. As things stand now, it would take us the entire year of 2026 to fund this for ourselves. Therefore, we seek the EDA's assistance. We want to be ready for the high season in 2026 as wellness is in demand now more than ever. Our services are filling a void in this community and contributing to the worldwide expanding interest and market of the wellness industry and clientele. We provide our wellness services at the highest level of quality that is still unsurpassed and unseen in the Northern Neck to date. And as we have promised in our previous requests, people now come to the Northern Neck specifically to learn yoga with us. And of course, we always invite you to learn more on our website, our social media, and our Google profile. We have probably over 60 combined total 5-star reviews now, and these are direct words and testimonials from the local community and how we are helping them here. So thank you so much for hearing me, and do you have any questions?
Have
I
you,
believe we're familiar with your business from the past, so I think you did a great job. And
Thank you.
appreciate you coming before our board this morning.
Yes, thank you.
Emily, on one of your previous requests, you were looking, well, we got the massage table.
Yes,
But
that
you were
has
also
been
looking for
incredible.
camera equipment and things so that you could actually do things online. Have you taken care of that? So
Yes, so we have expanded our online offerings. As I said, locally, I feel like we're kind of stalled out, plateaued, so we've been expanding online, and we're doing a series of traveling workshops this year, and we're putting a lot of effort into our retreats. So that's mainly how we've been growing, but we would love to grow here. So yes, we did put a lot of money into that last year.
So for local signage,
Mm-hmm.
have you checked with approvals to where you would be putting these signs in the town of Whitestone? I mean,
Yeah, we
if
have
you're on
approval
private
for the.
property or on public property, have you gotten approvals from the owners?
Yeah, for the one, we want to place one right in front of the business. There is a body fit signage there, so we need quite a lot of elevation. We do have approval. We would need to get the permit, which is an easy process with the town of Whitestone. But as far as Ramona and the town, they've given their approval, and we have the design and the quote from East Coast Custom Graphics. We want to place 2 other signs along Route 3, one as you come into Whitestone from each direction. Those would be very simple and smaller. We will need to find the exact location and get the approval for it'll be private land in that case. East Coast Custom Graphics has assured me that they're very familiar with that process and they can help us. We have not locked in exact details because I don't have the funding yet, so I cannot put them through too much struggle in that way, but that would be the plan for that, yeah.
Yeah, I know a lot of places have certain limitations on size and that type of thing.
Yeah, so based on, the approval will kind of determine the design. So it'll be something simple on Route 3, just our logo and kind of an arrow, turn right, turn left, Chesapeake Drive, something like that. But the main sign would go in front of the business, and pricing for that can range from $3,000 to $5,000 based on how we do it, if we want to put lights in it, or the main cost issue is the elevation, because it needs to be high, because there's a sign there, and we can't cover body fit. So I was shocked by the quote. I was like, I just want to put a sign in front.
Yeah, you also, I don't know if you've gone to the Whitestone Council, any meetings there to check with some of those people, because some of them are landowners in that area, and they
Okay.
might be able to help you.
Yeah, we've tried to put, and we have put some temporary ones at the intersection, and they don't last. And we have repeatedly put up the flags in front of the business, but we would have to replace those every 6 months or so. But it's very evident that works, because we get phone calls, I saw the flag out front, so having something there that's more permanent and more, doesn't blow away in the wind would be, I think, a great investment. So,
Thanks, Emily.
other questions? Thank
So
you.
your signs are for advertisements out there on the street, because people just don't drop in. People don't see a sign and say, oh, yoga, let me just pull in. Is that, or do people just drop in?
Yes, we do offer drop-in services and services by appointment as well. So we do have people that see, the sign, stop in and come, because we're always there, and they come and meet us, or if we have a class going, they drop into the class, or they call and schedule by appointment. But this sign would just be a business, just our post sign for that we're here, because it's really easy to just miss us.
You've been in business 3 years. 3 years ago, you started the business. What kind of capital have you guys put into the business?
Well, we started the business probably about 6 years ago. This will be our 3rd year in the space that we're in Body Fit. We put everything into the business. I can come back to you with an exact number. But the issue right now, I think, with investing specifically in this type of investment is that we don't have the flexibility, especially this time of year. The taxes, with the nature of our business, taxes are astronomical, and we just put everything into also in our marketing, our online marketing, and, just living life and sustaining, and we're doing good, but there seems to be two groups in the community. The group that's like, oh yeah, I've heard about you guys. I saw you online, or my friend told, and then there's the people that are like, oh, I had no idea. Like, what, where are you? So it's very evident that we need actual visibility. We've tried all the other avenues of marketing, and there's just a group of people that we cannot seem to catch. So.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions? Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Next on the agenda is Chevrolet's Garage Grant Request. Chris C. Williams.
Mr. Chairman, members of the EDA, I got a text message from Chrissy, who is the owner of Chevel's Garage LLC, this morning. Her and her child have the flu, and they asked me to present on their behalf. The shop's been open for just about a year and a half now, up the county as you go to Maratico, at the corner of Maratico Road and Route 3. Chrissy opened the shop with the existing equipment that was in the old garage, and the garage had been defunct and derelict for quite some time. She's in need of a travel lift, specifically. She wants to be able to also move the equipment around to be able to provide services in remote locations, as is a need in the county. And she wanted me to point out that there are very few auto mechanic garages left in the county. Auto mechanics are a rare breed, and a lot of them are retiring. So she represents a new generation of auto mechanic. She has 3 employees, and feels that the need for this piece of equipment will help the business grow. And provide an opportunity, as I said, to provide remote services to individuals in far-flung parts of the county. So I think that's the request, $10,000 to be able to purchase a travel lift. I did request that she provide a cost estimate for the travel lift. I did not get that cost estimate. And I have been working with her to develop a business plan. In addition to running the garage, she actually has 2 other jobs. So she's had difficulty finding time to commit to finishing and completing that business plan.
John, what's a travel lift?
A travel lift is the ability to raise the car up. But it's a mobile piece of equipment.
It's mobile. Okay,
Yeah,
so
it's
it's
pulled
actually
around in a
just-
trailer.
Okay.
I was gonna say, there is one in that garage, I'm very familiar, actually, a young man I graduated school with, Ricky Allison, ran that garage before.
Yeah.
He also did boats, or worked with boats, he was a certified mechanic for boats. That garage has been there many years, the lift probably is older, but, when it was used for, to change oil and things like this in our vehicles, it seemed like that was no problem, and the garage was always clean. Ricky ran a tight shop, he worked for Haywood's, Franklin Haywood down at Greenville Marina. So I think it'd be nice for Chrissy to come back, and, I don't want to step in line with your presentation, John, but I think it'd be nice for her to come in and meet with the board before moving forward, so we can have that question answer from her to see exactly where she feels that her growth is going to be, and does she recognize classic cars, middle-aged cars, new cars, whatever. It would be nice to be able to hear her words and the certification of her mechanics.
Yeah.
I can't ask you questions, obviously, so.
Well, no, I did indicate to her that, in fact, you'll notice that the application is from July, and she had intended to present in October.
Certainly.
and we didn't have a quorum. But I did indicate to her that she's better off actually being here in
I
person to
think
be
it
able
would be
to
great. I mean, I
present.
don't know the board's opinion, maybe we shouldn't have stepped out, but I believe it was to her business and without knowledge.
Well, we don't need to make a decision at this moment, but thank you.
Any other
Thank you.
questions on the garage grant request for travel lift?
Yeah, just one question. I'm not familiar with that territory. Is that the very northernmost part of Lancaster? Is that past Lively? You said Maratico Road?
Yeah, at the corner of Maratico and Route 3. It's not quite the northern part of the county,
It's not.
but you're about 3/4 of the way there.
Okay. Is it past Lively or?
Yeah, it's just past Lively.
Just past Lively?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
I'm sorry.
getting
No, you're good.
how do you say the name, Chevrolet?
Chevelles, like a Chevelle, the car.
Chevrolet.
Yeah. She's apparently a Chevy fan.
Okay.
It could be that old classic car fan.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, the gentleman that was there
yeah,
before.
the logo is actually a
70s.
pretty tricked out Chevelle.
Okay. Very good. We'll talk about it in the closed session then, and maybe have her come back in person. If there's no other questions. No other questions? Moving on to Turn Dynamics, I understand that you're going to present for them also, John.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Several months ago, earlier this year, I had the privilege of meeting Doug and Lindsay Bischoff, the owners of Turn Dynamics. It's a machining business in Kilmarnock in the Technology Park. And at the time, when I met with them, I was very impressed with how quickly they've built up this business. They're both local products. And I'll let them, they're on the line, I'll let them introduce themselves. But in meeting them, I understood that there is a growing demand for machinists, people that have training on CNC machines. Machining is quite a bit different than it used to be. A lot of it's automated. This is a very clean operation, clean shop. And Doug had participated in a program at RCC to get his certifications and trainings. That, during the pandemic, went defunct. That program at RCC went defunct. It was located in Montrose. So I worked with RCC and Turn Dynamics to reinstate the CNC program and to relocate it to their location in Kilmarnock. And this represents an opportunity. It's a work and learn opportunity. So for these folks to get their certification, the classroom space and the hands-on experience will all happen at Turn Dynamics. RCC is applying to Go Virginia Region 6 for an implementation grant. And that implementation grant will purchase the equipment, pay the instructor, which Doug has hired, and also pay for the space for a period of 2 years. For that grant application to be considered at the regional and state level, they require a local match. And so Doug and Lindsay and RCC both are applying to the EDA for $10,000 to provide match for that Go Virginia grant. I don't have the Go Virginia grant amount in front of me at the moment, and forgive me on that, but it's in excess of $600,000. So it meets our grant criteria. But that local match will make it much more competitive at the state level. As you all know, Taryn Bryce Rowland sits on the Go Virginia Region 6 Council with me. We feel pretty strongly that it'll pass our council, but the issue is at the state level, will it be competitive? And that local match is necessary to make it more competitive at the state level. At this time, I'd like to invite Doug Bischoff to tell us a little bit about his business and the need for the program. Doug, are you there?
I've got two phone numbers and a Carrie Wiersma on the line. Which one should I unmute?
Actually, Carrie's with RCC. If you could unmute Doug, I would just unmute them all. I don't know. Unmute the two that aren't Carrie. I don't know which one of those numbers is Doug.
Well, if one of them could raise, I've got one of them unmuted now.
Yeah, that's Doug.
All right, Doug, we got you.
Okay. Yeah, I started, Doug Bischoff, I started Turn Dynamics in 2015, paperwork-wise. I bought my first machine in 2017, and I've been self-taught in this industry, something that I was never introduced to. I graduated Lancaster High School in 1999. It's either working on the water, I worked as a diesel mechanic, and then I worked for about 18 years, and resigned as vice president of a local utility company here. And I pretty much invested everything that that I worked for into creating higher paying jobs in the community, and trying to open the eyes up to the youth here of what manufacturing is about. Modern manufacturing is not the dirty, grimy shop that everybody's used to and the parents are used to. This is, it's all automated, computer driven, you name it. So that's kind of my goal. It's been my goal since I realized those machines were sitting idle after COVID, and it took being introduced to John to make this happen. So I'm looking forward to it.
Doug, this is Tom Richardson. Good morning. Thanks for calling in. These machines,
Good morning, Tom.
will you use them for your own business, or is it just for the students to train on?
The ones that we're going to be bringing in are for just the students to train on.
Just the students? Okay.
Yeah. Doug, if you wouldn't mind, this is John, if you wouldn't mind, explain a little bit about y'all's growth and diversification plan over the next 10 years and employment, just quickly.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we, like I say, we started with one machine. We have 10 right now. And I'm looking to probably between 20 to 35 employees, hopefully, running 2 to 3 shifts a day. We are in potential within the next 20 days of signing a decade-long contract. We were aerospace certified, I believe the beginning of 25, and we're starting to get some traction in there. And I mean, this decade-long contract, that's a $10 million contract guaranteed by. But if you look at the average of the last 5 years of the average buy for these two part numbers, it's over $35 million for a decade-long contract. So my goal once I started this was to learn, utilize the hub zone. Lindsay's 51% and women-owned, and start getting some traction in the defense and aerospace world, which is really ramping up. I'm sure you guys have heard of what the defense bill is being signed. So I definitely think we're in the right arena, and to be able to bring these kids in an aerospace facility that you can eat off the shop floor with, train them not only in milling and turning, but also the cobalt, the automation, everything that AI is not coming for. The people are going to have to drive these robots and learn how to program it. So, I mean, you're talking to me, that those programmers are making anywhere from $100,000 to $140,000 a year.
Yeah, that's very exciting. Congratulations on your business and the growth of that business. So you would train the students, but on these machines from RCC, but then they would use those skills to actually operate your machines, which are similar. Is that the plan?
Well, we would do the milling, which that is, the milling is RCC's mill. And then the metrology, once we're done with the part, then they would have to measure it and stuff, but they are not producing any parts, paying parts for Turn Dynamics while they're here.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to at this time invite Carrie Wiersma with RCC to speak about the grant and add some details that you're inquiring about.
Thank you.
Can you unmute Carrie?
Yeah, working on it.
Carrie, are you
Morning.
there?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Carrie. Would you explain a little bit about the program and the grant? And would you also mention the grant amount we're seeking from Go Virginia Region 6?
You were close, John. It's $634,000 that we are applying for. So RCC would stand up a CNC program where we would be able to offer 3 different certificates. The students would not necessarily be employed by Turn Dynamics afterwards, but by any employer in the region. We have a good number, both in the Lancaster area as well as up to Fredericksburg, that are looking to hire this in-demand field. The students would be certified in 3 different certificates that currently RCC is able to provide, and then we'd be looking to get approval from VCCS to offer additional certifications that would be taught at Turn Dynamics. We're looking at 40 students a year once we're up and going, about 4 cohorts of 10 students. The Workforce Development Board has agreed to provide some scholarships to students that are current employees that need upskilling. I guess I would say that one of the hurdles in launching programs like this is the equipment. The equipment is incredibly expensive, and the Go Virginia grant would kind of help us overcome that hurdle. And a grant from the EDA would help supplement the rent that we would be paying to Turn Dynamics for the space.
Thank you. Any questions for RCC or Turn Dynamics?
Well, yes, this is Sam Rice. How much would it cost each student to enroll in this?
Was the question about dual enrollment?
What's the price for the students? What would it cost for the certification?
Somebody has to repeat the question for me because I can't hear it.
Carrie, if you don't mind, Sam, Carrie, Sam Rice is inquiring about what the cost for enrollment and tuition would be for each student.
The safety-related certificate, I believe, is $800 for the tuition, and then the 2 other certificates are $2,400. We would have fast forward scholarships available to some students, and that qualify financially. Most students in our CTE programs do not pay because of the scholarships that are available.
Thank you.
We also are looking at, in the out years on the after this grant is completed and we successfully launch it with adult students, to look at expanding to a dual enrolled program where we would have local high school students bused in to Turn Dynamics and taking the classes as part of their high school curriculum.
That's great. Well, I don't think we have any other questions from the board. Thank you for your time calling in this morning, Mr. Bischoff and Ms. Wiersma. I'm sorry. So I think that wraps up all the grant requests.
Yes, sir.
So now we will enter a closed session.
Yes, and you should have your.
Yeah. So I'm going to make a motion to enter into closed meeting to discuss matters exempt from the open meeting requirements of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act. The subject matter to be discussed is grant requests, 2.2-3711-8.6 of the Code of Virginia 1950 as amended. The purpose is the specific discussion of consideration of the investment of public funds where competition or bargaining is involved and where, if made public, the financial interest of the government unit would be adversely affected. I need a second for the motion to enter closed session. There's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
we'll enter into closed session. Thank you. 2025 pursuant to an affirmative recorded vote on the motion to close the meeting to discuss grant proposals in accordance with Section 2.2-3711.a.6 of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act. Whereas Section 2.2-3712 of the Code of Virginia requires a certification by the EDA that such closed meeting was conducted in conformity with Virginia law. Now therefore be it resolved that the Lancaster County Economic Development Authority hereby certifies that, to the best of each member's knowledge, one, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements under the Virginia Freedom of Information Act was heard, discussed, or considered in the closed meeting in which this certification applies, and two, only such public business matters as were identified in the motion by which this closed meeting was convened were heard, discussed, or considered in the meeting to which this certification applies. Before a vote is taken on this resolution, is there any member who believes that there was a departure from the requirements of number 1 and number 2, and if so, identify yourself and state the substance of the matter and why, in your judgment, it was a departure? Since there was no comment, Chairman asks each member to stated that they certified the closed meeting when their name was called. He stated that the certification resolution was adopted and the EDA was back in open meeting. I need a
You'll just, everyone will need to certify, to say. I
okay.
certify by
So
certify.
I'm asking each member to state that resolution.
I certify.
I certify.
I certify.
And then I'll read that.
Yeah, and then you just bring us back into open meeting.
Okay. Now we're reconvene to the open session. Well, thank you all. Good discussion. If we take them in order, there was a request by Risha Yoga and Wellness grant request. Is there a motion on that grant
I
request?
found one option.
Oh.
Rishi.
Sorry about that.
Is there a motion to approve, deny, or table?
I'll make a motion to deny the request.
Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and second to deny the Risha Yoga request. All in favor of denying that request, say aye.
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 I'd like to note that I was not present, so I'm going to abstain for this vote, and I guess the rest of the motions, for the record.
Hi, Taryn.
Hello.
On the second request, do we have to make a motion to table it, or do we?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to table the request until the next meeting.
Second.
All in favor of tabling that request?
Aye.
Aye.
Mr.
Opposed?
Chairman, to be clear, that was the request from Chevelle's Garage?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Yes, from Chevelle's.
Chevelle's Garage grant request. On the third request, Turn Dynamics RCC grant request. Is there a motion?
It seems like a slam dunk, I think, to everybody. So you want to make a motion, Sam?
I make a motion to grant them the $10,000.
I'll second that.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor of that grant request, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Mr. Bateman, a financial status report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Our financials stand as of January 15th today, 2026. Our community partnership checking had a beginning balance in October of $24,367.23. There have been interest credits earned for October, November, and December totaling $6.14. And there have been debits which were related to paper statement fees of $9. And I will point out that those paper statement fees have been eliminated as of this month, so we don't have to worry about those any longer.
Thank you.
The ending balance is $24,364.37. As far as our domestic government unit CD, which is a 5-month, 4.15% interest credited quarterly, that was opened in August 31st of 2025 and matures January 31st of 2026, and will renew automatically unless it is withdrawn. Beginning balance of October was $43,301.86. Interest earned credits for October, November, and December of $448.90. There were no debits, leaving an ending balance as of January 15th, 2026 of $43,750.76. And a reminder that the EDA currently has an annual revenue of approximately $12,472 from administrative fees collected through bond issuances to Lancaster County and the Mariners Museum.
Thank you. Is there, I guess we don't need the CD money, but at any time we could break the CD and open it. It's just a convenient time to do that because it matures. So you can take the CD money and the interest without penalty if we just want it in our checking account and not in a CD. Maybe there's not a reason to do that. I know we only have $24,000 to give out, and we're going to give out half of that to RCC and Turn Dynamics. So what are we looking at? I guess do you have any grant requests in the pipeline?
No, other than the tabled Chevelle garage request.
Yeah. Okay.
So John, you had mentioned possibility of us looking at other funds that we could get from taxes, possible tourist.
Yes, sir, and that, I guess that moves us into the next discussion item.
Yeah, I guess we could just move on if there's no other discussion on the financial report. Any questions to Mr. Bateman on the financial status? Then we'll move on to annual revenue request, grant, and loan programs.
In your packet, you have a memorandum dated 2 days ago. So the issue is, it's been the desire of the EDA to use its unique authority to have a greater impact on local businesses and job creation. A few quarters ago, you guys received a presentation from our bond counsel about the authorities that the EDA holds. The EDA kind of lacks the annual revenue sufficient to support the development of these programs and initiatives that support business development, growth, and attraction. So the recommendation is request the Lancaster County Board of Supervisors consider an annual revenue contribution to the EDA to fund EDA programs and initiatives that support local business development, growth, and attraction. In the first quarter of 2026, the Lancaster County Board of Supervisors will consider budgetary requests from county departments and non-governmental organizations. This annual process represents the appropriate opportunity for the board to consider a request from the EDA for an annual revenue contribution. I had been looking into the tax revenues that the county collects, and one in particular stood out as potentially being a good fit for being tabbed for economic development, and that is the transient occupancy tax, or the lodging tax. This is a tax that's levied on our hospitality businesses, primarily hotels and short-term rentals. There's been a steady increase in the number of short-term rentals operating in the county that are providing a meaningful visitor experience. And that tax is currently levied at a rate of 2% and is typically passed on to lodging consumers, as is the case with these hotels and short-term rentals. In FY23, it yielded revenues totaling $67,068. And in FY24, revenues totaling $74,155. Many surrounding localities levy a lodging tax ranging from 0% to 8%, and there is a table attached to that memorandum showing the Northern Neck Middle Peninsula region and localities and what they're charging. For reference, the town of Kilmarnock charges a rate of 8%. The Code of Virginia states that the transient occupancy tax, anything above 2%, up to 5% must be utilized for tourism. And it's somewhat vague in the language when it describes tourism, but tourism and travel promotion. Anything over 5% is free, and anything under 2% is free to be used for whatever. But it specifically places that one restriction. And I say that so that if the county board of supervisors were ever to choose to increase the tax rate, it would have that restriction on it. An example being Middlesex County and the town of Kilmarnock use a portion of these revenues that are designated for tourism and travel. Particularly, they pass that money along to a destination and marketing organization. We have two in the region, Virginia's River Realm and the Northern Neck Tourism Commission that's housed at the PDC. So for discussion here is, should the EDA request a portion or all of the transient occupancy tax from the Board of Supervisors to be used for economic development? And if the Board of Supervisors so chose to raise that tax, those funds would be requested to the EDA, some portion or all, for use for economic development and tourism.
So the code states that the 2% that they charge now, they can use for whatever they want. It's when you go above 2% that has to be used for tourism.
Up to 5.
Right.
So anything over 5 is, again, free to be used for whatever. And in the example from Middlesex County, the county passes a portion of that funding along to the Middlesex EDA, who manages their tourism. And in effect, and you've spoken with John Anzavino, who's the chairman there, they basically pass that money along to Virginia's River Realm as their destination and marketing organization, which is allowable under state code.
Does the county fund that River Realm also?
So in our county?
Our county.
Our county, currently, the Board of Supervisors funds a request from River Realm during the annual budgetary process. So there's potential that if the board so chose, they could, if they pass that money along to the EDA would then be responsible for tourism and travel, similar to Middlesex.
So county's at 2%, you said Kilmarnock's 8%? So if I stayed one night in Kilmarnock at a tourist place or whatever, it would be 10% total? The county's 2% and Kilmarnock's 8%?
No.
That's a question I actually don't have an answer to. I'm not sure.
Because I know when you stay at different hotels and you see the rate, the occupancy tax, it can be pretty high, you know, in a lot of places.
No, I think at the hotels in the town limits, the town taxes it, not the county. The
It's the
county
town,
gets
okay.
0.
Because it's taxed, I believe so, because it's taxed on the, as the person is billed for the lodging, and then that is then reported. So, but I'd have to double check to be sure with our commissioner of revenue.
Irvington gets a lot of their budget, I think, from the tides in, from the tax there.
So Irvington charges a rate of 4%, Whitestone 0%. Yeah,
That tax is also for short-term rentals now, everything,
any lodging.
any lodging at all.
But the only hotel that's in the county limits, not in town limits, is what, Whispering Pines?
Whispering Pines.
And so it would be just really that hotel and then short-term rentals.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman. I will point out that I've been working for well over a year to try to lure in a hotel into the county, and recently have made some headway with an independent hotelier, but we'll see what that yields. But lodging is desperately needed in this county.
So that 2% the county charges, you said, can be used for anything the county deems necessary? Is that correct?
Anything outside of what the code restricts could be used for whatever.
Okay. So if the county went to 4%, let's say, based on 24 revenues, that'd be an extra $74,000.
Like currently at 2%, it's yielding roughly $70,000.
74, yeah, based on.
Yeah.
So if they doubled that, it'd be another 74. I mean, it would have been in 24 if it had been doubled.
Correct, and if I understood your question correctly, if they hypothetically raised it to 4%, 2% could be used for anything. The other 2% would need to be used for tourism and travel.
We'll need to look at the tourism budget for Lancaster.
Currently, Virginia's River Realm makes an annual request of $30,000, and the county provides $30,000. And then Northern Neck Tourism Commission, I'm not 100% certain what our contribution to them is, but it's significantly less than what we provide River Realm.
Okay. John, I think that's a great recommendation. Over the years, we've had trouble raising money, and of course, the bond revenue is continually going down every year. It's become more competitive, and when we got $12,400 some dollars a year coming in now. And I think when I first started, we were having about $100,000 a year coming in. That was many years ago, of course. So it's, you know, we're not getting the bonds. Other counties are competitive. They don't take anything. But if we get our limit of $10 million a year, if we could float that much, we still only get $12,500 for $10 million bonds. So we've got to look at other sources of revenue. So thanks for looking into that. I know you're applying for other grants too, hopefully, for us.
My feeling is when it comes to economic development, you really have to kind of spend money to make money. And so that any revenue that you got could be used for whatever programs and initiatives that the EDA desired.
Do you need a motion from the board to request?
I think what you would need to do is you would need to make a motion, take action to make a recommendation. So the motion would be making a recommendation to the Board of Supervisors, a request to the Board of Supervisors that it contribute a portion or all of the transient occupancy tax to the EDA for economic development and tourism.
Mr. Chair, before we go forward, may I have, make a comment? I know I'm a landlord, you know, rent some properties out, and I've worked with a number of people with the Airbnbs, if you will, and it's kind of their concern also for the taxation. And you have to realize, I mean, Dad was one of the treasurers of the county, and I know taxation has always been a concern for all, especially small business. I'd hate to see the board, not just our boards, I know we need funding to help other small business secure their efforts and their vision and passion, but I would like to kind of rethink hopefully that the Board of Supervisors would move forward with quite an escalated value of tax. I don't have an Airbnb. I will be with a realtor this afternoon that has an Airbnb in another county, over Matthews County, if you will. I'll pursue some conversation with her in that regard. But then we also have some other earmarked money for this EDA board that may be earning interest, or may be a possibility that we could use or utilize without going into a Board of Supervisors meeting suggesting they raise the Airbnbs in our community costs. Because in insurance, I have had conversation with a number of those particular exposures, if you will, and conversations of cost, especially taxes.
Well, we have the poorhouse tract fund, right?
Yeah, you currently have roughly $320,000 that's sitting in the, it is gaining interest with the.
Is that money available to us from the interest that it's earning, or is that something the Board of Supervisors has to reappropriate to the EDA? Or?
Yeah, we would have to request it at a Board of Supervisors meeting. We did a year before last, and we got $60,000.
I see. So as far as the growth of that, is that somewhat adequate to supply us over time from the interest perspective, or what a bank may share, or Tom, you may be able to enlighten what banks are providing in CDs or so on?
Yeah, I think that's that Poorhouse tract money is, you know, we have to go to the board to ask for it
Right.
every time.
Understood.
a CD today is less than 4%. So when that renews, or when that CD renews, the small one we have, it'll be less.
Less.
It'll be 3% or something.
Understandable.
But that was your question.
I see. Thank you.
I think the Board of Supervisors realizes that we do make an impact on the small businesses in the county. And I think they also realize we've been very conservative with the money that we've had. For instance, today, the one slam dunk, we said we would fund fully. Other requests, we've tabled one, and the other we turned down simply because it didn't meet the grant criteria. And also, we can't, that's a fourth request from the same business. It's a great business, but unfortunately, we just weren't able to fund them because it didn't meet our criteria. So I think the board supervisors realizes if we make a request, it's going to go to something that is good for the county and good for small business. And in our CBRAC meeting just 2 days ago, we talked about really getting together with the Chamber of Commerce. You know, we're a top-tier sponsor for them. And the Chamber of Commerce, I don't know how many members they have now, John, but it was around 400.
That's right.
Members. And, you know, that's huge. And we do need to coordinate with them better and have them coordinate with us. I know I was on the board of the Retail Merchants of Greater Richmond for a number of years. And what we were able to offer our members, we had a lot more members, and we also had a lot more money, but we were able to offer them reduced credit card charges. For my $100 a year, it saved me almost $1,000 a year in credit card. We were able to offer top-tier health plans for employees at a greatly reduced rate. We offered co-op advertising. We really helped small business. Now, that board, most people don't realize, we started the Virginia Credit Union years ago. And when we sold that, we got about $27 million, and that was back in the 80s. So we had money that we could actually almost subsidize small businesses. We may not have that here, but with 400 members, we may be able to get them much better rates on certain things. Our credit card processing plan was based on doing $25 million a year. So we got, you know, I think my rate at that time was 237, and it was reduced down to 1.89% just because of belonging to that group. So we can help small businesses, and by really working with the chamber also.
Sure.
That's going to put the word out probably to the chamber members that, hey, the EDA is here to help sponsor you. It may get more requests than we have money for, but at least we can help small business.
Sure.
Yeah,
And as Joni Carter said, if we have a pamphlet to hand people to show them what we can do with the chamber, that would be great for.
John, are you going to
For our
talk about the potential loan programs that we've been researching?
Yeah, so to clarify, there's a number of things here. One, let me back up and point out that last year when Roy was chairman, he signed on to a letter that I also signed on to that was sent to all of our short-term rental owners, welcoming them to the county, explaining to them that they're critical to our hospitality industry because of a lack of hotels, and encouraging them to offer meaningful visitor experiences. When it comes to trying to fund economic development and to support businesses, the EDA's current function is to provide financial resources to businesses through the grant program. And the subcommittee had been looking at establishing a revolving loan fund. Tom and I recently met with the Economic Development Administration to talk about a grant program that they have that can capitalize a revolving loan fund. It seems to be the position of the current administration to not prioritize revolving loan funds. And USDA Rural Development also has two funding sources that can capitalize a revolving loan fund. But Tom, and you know better than I, there's a huge gap in financing resources for small businesses. And the EDA can fill that gap, and in many other localities does have revolving loan funds that can fill that financing gap.
Yeah, and so in my mind, I think we're looking for a little bit more revenue stream to do a loan program, but also to maybe beef up our grant program. So I'm in favor of asking the board for that 2% pass through if they're so kind to give that to us so we can deploy it into more grants or to actually start a loan program that on its own would create income back to the EDA. So I know there's still work to do to kind of finalize the loan program. It would be nice to use, I mean, right now, we don't have any funds to lend. I think with the loan program, we could go to the board and ask for a lump sum of that poorhouse track and use that. It would be nice if we could leverage that through the USDA or the federal government. It just doesn't seem that that's going to be a quick solution to leverage those funds, but if we had a stream of funds coming in from the county, then we have our own stream to leverage that. So I don't think we should wait around to try to get a revolving grant from the federal government. I don't think that's going to happen, but I think we need to finalize the loan program and then go to the county and ask for those funds. In the meantime, I'm in favor of asking the county for that 2% pass-through now, also as a source.
If you make the request to the board, it would likely be considered in March during the work sessions. Between now and then, you could convene the subcommittee, the EDA subcommittee, to discuss what you would use those funds for, whether it be a revolving loan fund or whatever, so that it can be presented to the board.
Okay.
If we form a committee, it can't be more than 3 of us meeting at any one time.
Currently, the roster is Roy, you, Tom, and Taryn.
Okay. So, is there do we need a motion right now? Do we just need a,
The motion would be for the EDA to request of the Board of Supervisors a portion or all of the transient occupancy tax for economic development and tourism.
is there a motion from a member on that request?
I saw a motion.
A motion from
Taryn?
Taryn. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a proper motion and a second. All in favor of requesting a portion or all of the occupancy tax to pass through to the EDA, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Or did you vote?
Abstain.
There's one abstain.
Did Taryn vote? Taryn, do you have a vote?
No. Yeah, I vote in favor.
Okay.
Thank you. That motion carries. Any other business in front of us, Mr. John?
No.
Okay. Well, then I'll make a motion that we,
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. I do have one other piece of business, excuse me. The statements of economic interest forms are due back by February, no later than Monday, February 2nd to Crystal. So if you haven't already filled out your statement of economic interest, please do so and get it to Crystal by Monday, February the 2nd. There is a $250 late filing penalty if you don't do it by then.
don't do that. All right. Make sure you get that in to Crystal.
Make a motion to adjourn.
There's a motion to adjourn. There's a second from Sam.
Second.
All in favor of adjournment?
Aye.
Aye. We are officially adjourned.